In this video, we're going to take a look at 3 laws that impact student data privacy, and then have a short discussion on how that impacts us as educators. So we're going to take a look at these 3 laws in 3 minutes, and those 3 minutes begin now. 3 laws that impact us are FERPA, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, COPPA, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, and CIPA, the Children's Internet Protection Act. We're going to first take a look at FERPA. FERPA is a federal law that guides student privacy rights in educational settings. Any school, such as Forsyth County Schools, that accepts federal funds is subject to following FERPA guidelines. The goal of FERPA is to keep student data information confidential and prevent schools or school officials from sharing personally identifiable information to anyone who does not have a direct educational interest in the student. One thing to note is that FERPA also extends to all parent volunteers, community volunteers, and mentors, anyone that works with the student. So, personally identifiable information is established through our directory information. So we can establish directory information that could be shared and that we can consent to share for the student on behalf of the parent. We do this through our student handbook and consent forms that are provided at the beginning of the year. The second law is COPPA. COPPA restricts websites, apps, and online services that collect information from children under the age of 13. In some cases, the school district can provide consent on behalf of the parent if permission is given, and sometimes we cannot if the type of information that is shared with the website extends beyond what we've identified as our directory information. So, this is one of the main laws that we have to be aware of and be cognizant of when we find an educational app that we want to use with our students. And later in this learning path, we're going to take a look at the regulations and then how we can make sure that we're complying with those through Education Frameworks. Education Frameworks is a program and class link that we'll take a tour of later on. But to set that stage, we wanted to make you aware of why we need to do that. Due to some shifting legislation at the federal level, as a school district, we now have more liability to ensure that we are keeping students safe and their student data information safe when we use third-party vendors in our school system or in our classrooms. The third law is CIPA, it's the Children's Internet Protection Act. This prevents minors from accessing inappropriate material on the internet. And so, as a district, we take protection measures to make sure that we're compliant with CIPA, which is another federal law that includes emphasizing internet safety and digital citizenship. We do this through our digital citizenship plan, making sure we have a firewall in place that we can filter out inappropriate content, and monitoring use. So again, the big law that we need to make sure we're aware of and that we're complying with is COPPA, and that's something the Education Frameworks is going to help us with, and we're going to take a look at that in just a moment.